There's something strange about 2 a.m. The world is quiet, the lights are off, and every thought you avoided during the day suddenly shows up, louder than ever. And tonight, I want to tell you a story that begins at exactly that moment, at 2 a.m., with a guy who didn't plan on changing his life, but ended up making a promise that would rewrite everything. He wasn't doing anything special. He was just lying there, staring at the ceiling, listening to the same thoughts he'd been fighting for months. The kind of thoughts you don't say out loud, the ones you pretend aren't real, the ones that only show up when the world goes silent. He looked at the time. 2:03 a.m. Another sleepless night. Another night where he felt stuck in the same place, same routine, same habits, same doubts, same version of himself. And he was tired, not physically, tired in the kind of way you feel in your bones, tired of being the person he had become, tired of pretending everything was fine, tired of waking up every day feeling like nothing ever changed. And for a moment, he felt exactly what you might be feeling tonight. If I keep living like this, I'm going to lose myself completely. He didn't cry. He didn't break down. He didn't shout. He just exhaled, long and slow, like he was letting go of all the pressure he'd been carrying alone. And then it happened. Not a big moment, not some dramatic, life-changing realization, just a quiet truth that finally hit him. I can't do another year like this. That was it. That was the moment everything shifted. He didn't swear he'd change his entire life overnight. He didn't promise he'd be perfect. He didn't make some huge, impossible commitment. He made one small promise, the kind that actually matters. I'm not going to lose myself this year. Not again. He didn't know how he'd do it. He didn't have a plan. He didn't have motivation. He only had one decision. He was done abandoning himself. That one promise was the start of everything. The next morning, he woke up with the same problems, the same fears, the same doubts. But something was different. He treated himself like someone who mattered. He didn't talk to himself like he was useless. He didn't hide from his thoughts. He didn't run from the day. He didn't tell himself he was behind. He tried, just tried. That's all. And that tiny shift, that 1% difference, turned into momentum. He stopped expecting giant progress. He stopped comparing himself to everyone else. He stopped punishing himself for being human. Instead, he learned something most people never realize. Transformation doesn't start with motivation. It starts with honesty. Honesty at 2 a.m. Honesty with yourself. Honesty about what hurts, what needs to change, and what you refuse to repeat. He kept going. Some days he failed. Some days he fell back. Some days he disappeared. But he kept returning to that promise. I won't lose myself again. And slowly, quietly, he became someone new. Not because life suddenly became easy, not because everything started going his way, but because for the first time in a long time, he stopped giving up on himself. And maybe tonight, that's the message you needed to hear too. Maybe you're here because you're tired. Maybe you're here because you're done pretending. Maybe you're here because something inside you knows you can't keep living the same year over and over again. So tonight, right now, in this quiet moment, make the same promise he did. You don't need to know the whole plan. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to change everything at once. Just promise yourself, I won't lose myself again. I'm choosing me. Tonight is the beginning. And when you wake up tomorrow, you'll still be tired. You'll still have problems. But you'll also have something you didn't have before. A version of you that refuses to disappear. A version of you that's finally ready to grow. And trust me, that version of you, he hits different, especially at 2 a.m.